Hi everyone, it's Daniel Lam here, and today in this video I'm going to be talking to you about pensions. So while the job of the Secretary Treasurer of the Society is supposedly to safeguard the assets of the Society, one of the most important assets that our members have, since the majority of our members is on a defined benefit retirement pension plan, is the money that goes into this particular pension plan. So that's why I think it is very important that the society as a union needs to have some focus with regards to what it is that we are doing and what we also can do in order to be able to better safeguard this asset, the pension, which is the biggest sole asset that most of our members will have in their lifetime, even bigger than the house that they're living in. So first of all, we need a little bit of a basic understanding what a pension is, which is actually pretty straightforward because a pension consists of pretty much three different components. First of all, there is the money, known as usually contribution, that the employees and the employers put into the pension pot. And then once the money is inside the pension pot, the second component is that the money is usually reinvested, usually in some types of bonds, stock, and other types of investment in order to grow this pension pot. And then the final piece is that once an individual reaches retirement age, the money from the pension pot is used to pay out their retirement benefits, which becomes their retirement income. There you go. There's the basic pieces with regards to a pension. In most cases, since you guys as society members are in a collective agreement, the specific contribution that gets taken out of your paycheck is specified inside the collective agreement. For most of us, I know not everybody, I know the LAO folks do not have they have a defined contribution plan right now, but for most society members, we have a defined benefit plan which also specifies what is the payout at the time of retirement. In the case of a defined contribution plan, the plan member has the choice with regards to how they want to grow their own pension RSP money. They get to be their own investment advisors and choose whichever investment it is that they want their contribution as well as the employer's matching contribution goes. In the cases of a defined benefit plan, the investment is usually managed by the employer. And the employer has the choice with regards to which investments that they choose to select. And the employer supposedly also has the obligation to make up any shortfalls that comes as a result of whether the investment is performing poorly or in fact the investment might have lost some money. So the employer, based off of a defined benefit pension plan, has this obligation to add additional contributions to the pot in order to make up for the shortfall so that when it comes to the healthiness of the pension plan, that it is maintained and there is enough money to pay the future ongoing benefits. But as we have seen, unfortunately, in the last few rounds of collective bargaining through one of the defined benefit plans employers, is that the employer who's made these commitments with regards to the pension plan many years ago is now finding that the shortfall is getting bigger, and bigger. And now they are asking for society members and employees and negotiating with the union and asking that we contribute more by upping the amount that the employees contribute out of each of their paychecks. So right now the employers has been making these moves, which means that they're not actually taking on the full liability when it comes to if their investments are not returning the rates of return that they were hoping it would be. So for my side here is that I'm pretty concerned with regards to this particular whole arrangement here. While the employer has the responsibility associated with making up the shortfalls, there is also the possibility that we have seen, unfortunately, some other employers such as Sears, Nortel, the city of Detroit, the country of Greece, where they all went into financial difficulties, and what they did do was that they cut the benefits payouts for those employees that the retirees who have already retired. So, as I said before, is that our union, the Society of United Professionals, needs to do the best job that we possibly can in order to safeguard these particular pension assets. And we can do so by two different methods that I would suggest. First of all, going online and doing a little bit of research, I noticed that another union, CUPE, actually has union-specific training for a number of their elected membership so that they can get a bit of understanding with regards to how to evaluate the overall healthiness associated with a pension plan. And that is one of the things that if elected as principal officer, that I would definitely work with the rest of the team in order to roll out a training that is specific to educate our elected members and possibly even our other members so that they can have a better understanding with regards to the healthiness associated with which of the pension plans of their employer. And then the second thing that I would advocate with regards to us considering is that most of our collective agreement, as I mentioned earlier, they do mention something about the contribution as well as the benefit payout associated with a pension plan. But we don't do enough of a job with regards to managing this investment return proportionality, this third piece associated with the pension plan. And this is something that working with the coordinated bargaining team that I think that we have to start looking at, because as I said, when the investment returns are not as good as they have been, the employer doesn't just pony up the cash and says, oh, I'll pay for all the difference. Sometimes they will come back to us and ask with regards to the contribution type to pay a little bit more, or in worst case scenarios where there's a significant underfunding, that they would even look at with regards to cutting the benefits associated with the retiree side as well too. So if you wanted to learn a little bit about this particular topic, there is a book that I will share with regards to here as well too. It's called Who Stole My Pension? A lot of the details in the book is related to what's happening inside the US. So the Canadian legislation and everything else is a little bit different, but the fundamental concepts associated with it, as well as the risk that the pensions might have, it's still physically there as well too. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to get in touch with me, Daniel, and I'll be happy to talk to you further about it as well too. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good one.